All right. We are live with the kid. He's back.
Yep.
Back from college. Where he got more knowledge.
A little bit.
What a fun trip that was in one day. Well, tell everybody about your not about your whole first year. Tell everybody where you go to college.
Yep. So I'm Harry. I go to college in Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, and I am actually studying film there to be a film major. That does not mean I've watched a lot of movies. I haven't. Most of the ones I have are actually from him. So, but I do enjoy the video editing process, and I'm very interested in some aspects of like video production in general, which is my primary motivation for taking film classes. But I have learned a bit more about movies in general from film classes. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, editing, not exactly my biggest strength and a time consumer. So
it's a big time consumer.
We're gonna have to see if we can put you to work here. We haven't really sat down and talked about this pretty much since he's gotten back. He's been tell us what you've been doing. What have you been doing for work this summer?
For this summer?
Yeah.
Like editing wise?
No, I mean job wise.
Oh, job wise? Yeah, I've been working with my uncle as a host at a restaurant, so it's been keeping me busy, put me to work. The first week I got back.
Yep. So he's got a real job for the summer. Been pretty busy. Eventually though, we'll sit down. We got to figure this out. There's some ways we can channel your strengths, and not just for my benefit for helping the channel, but excuse me, guys. There's just a as a way to you want to do some side projects, right?
Yep.
Yeah, some editing for some people.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. We got to get into this. We got to sit down and talk about this. Get some equipment. We'll get. You can tell me this summer what kind of equipment we need to get. The kids got me a microphone, which we haven't been able to get working.
Yeah.
Usually I record on an iPad my video, so it's time to upgrade to an actual camera, right? And use the iPad as a supplemental thing. Green screen. If you're interested, it's not expensive.
Good, yeah.
A teleprompter is not expensive, relatively, right? $150 for a teleprompter, 200. So I've always wanted to make some longer form videos where you don't have to listen to me stop and start and do things off the top of my head. So we might get into that this summer, but we've also got to watch movies. So we came home. We got off to a good start. We watched one of them that was on our checklist. Tell us about it.
The Frankenstein one?
Yeah.
Costello and what was it? I don't know. Yeah,
Costello and Abbott.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't grow up when I grew up.
No,
when I grew up, they were on all the time. Abbott and Costello, one of the great
Costello.
one of the great
one of the great. Yeah. It was funny. No, I thought it was a very very charming movie. It was pretty funny. It was pretty entertaining to see. Yeah, that was a good first movie to start off with.
Yeah. By the way, Nanette, can you just tell us, are we coming through loud and clear? Can you hear us well and everything? There's not much we can do technologically to improve it, to be honest with you, but just let us know how we sound. Growing up, Abbott and Costello movies were on all the time. And they did, they were for Universal. So they did a lot of crossovers with some of the monsters. There's a Mummy one, which is okay. It's not as good as this one. This one is like a battle royale.
You see a lot of monsters in this one.
Really?
Too.
I mean,
yeah.
We were just talking about it on my friend Nightwatch, the Nightwatch Zone. Harry knows Night from Nightwatch Zone. We did an anime stream together a while ago.
Fun times.
Yeah, fun times. But we were just talking about it, how the monster action is so good, and Abbott and Costello are, thanks Nanette, and Abbott and Costello are pretty much at their funniest.
Yeah, it's a good dynamic between the two.
Yeah. And working with and bouncing off of Lon Chaney, because Abbott is the straight man. Okay, and Costello's the funny guy.
Yeah.
But then you had Lon Chaney, who's like, he's like, he's such a sad character, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Such a put upon guy. He just wants to kill himself. It's like movie after movie, and in this, he's like another straight man. Right? Yeah. Bela Lugosi as Dracula. He wasn't young anymore, but by that time, that was his last major studio role. All the rest of the rest of his career was independent. Whereas I think Lon Chaney did some more of both. And then you had Glenn Strange as Frankenstein's monster. Yeah, and then that is so much fun. It's like the most fun. There's some other good ones as far as Abbott and Costello goes, and then there's one where Boris Karloff plays like a magician or a hypnotist or something. I remember that was pretty good. So there's a couple other ones, and there is now as far as Universal Monsters. Harry, we'll get into this, but Harry and I we've been watching. We started years ago. I was like, oh, we're gonna watch all of them, thinking in a month we would get it done. It took us years, but I've got the big set that you see in my thumbnail there, and now tonight I'm going to be on with Katie at 8:00 on Popping the Popcorn on her Creators Corner. So I'll put my Universal Monster shirt on, my new one that I wore the other night. But then I've been getting these individual legacy collections. So Harry and I have been watching these, and I lost my train of thought. Oh, we started watching these, and we got through all of the major ones. Starting with The Mummy, Dracula.
That was a while back.
That was a while back.
Mummy, yeah,
that was a while back by now. We've seen all the major ones. As far as sequels go, if you consider Bride a sequel,
oh, good. Yeah,
that we saw that, and then we saw Son of Frankenstein, which is a fun one, which introduced Igor, right?
Yeah,
Igor with his ugly face. Another Bela Lugosi role, right? So seeing Abbott Costello meet Frankenstein, that was fun, and then the guest appearance by at the end, the Invisible Man. Now, I didn't know. I knew that was Vincent Price's voice. Buddy, the one that we missed, that we slept on, was the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I only remember this from when I was a kid. I remember the comedy elements. Wow, what a good movie. And when Joe and Jason did Monster Mayhem for the month of May, I was shocked to learn out, because 31 days, I had to do like a lot of the sequels, obviously, to fill out 31 days. I was shocked to find out there were 4 sequels. So this was one of the best pickups that I've got recently. I mean, eBaying these things, like, you take your chances. Like this one has this little card in here. I think I don't think the Wolfman one did. So, sometimes, and one of them has some stickers on it. You get that from eBay sometimes if they're used, but you've got all the movies, man. I mean, anyway. Invisible Man returns. That's Vincent Price as the Invisible Man. So I had never made that connection before, but man, what a great series that was. And then I was thinking about waiting for you the other night. I was really just had the urge to watch it, so I did go ahead and get the recent Wolfman, the remake, kind of a much maligned version. When is this? 2010-ish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I haven't watched it until now, 2009. So it's one of those things, like, enough time's gone by. I know that the effects aren't going to be what I want them to be. The story is that Rick Baker, who's a master at practical special effects and who did American Werewolf in London, one of the most, famous werewolf transformation scenes ever, probably the best ever. And who, if you watch any special features on the Universal film, there's a great documentary on the Wolfman.
Oh,
all these documentaries here. Monster by Moonlight. He's always going to be featured because he's an expert in special effects. He was all set to do the practical effects for the Wolfman, and the studios pretty much said no, it must be CGI. So knowing that, you had 2009 era CGI, and it was, I mean, they were able to do a lot. You had the whole police department. You had like 20 guys after him at the end, shooting at him. He was doing all kinds of crazy gymnastics off of walls. The story was much different. Now, somebody on Knight's channel the other night, we were talking about it, said that Anthony Hopkins kind of phoned this one in. He's such a good actor, and he was kind of low key as the dad. So much different kind of. I mean, you got to change the story because nobody can be Lon Chaney. You know what I mean? Nobody can be like the original Larry Tell, but you got to change it. But it was okay. I did enjoy it for what it was. So that's Universal Monsters. If you want, we can watch. I mean, we can watch Invisible Man. We got I don't have the Creature from the Black Lagoon series. There's 3 of
unfortunate.
those.
Oh yeah,
I
we
think I
only
told
watched
you.
one, right?
We only watched right now. We
Mhm.
watched part of the second one on Mystery Science Theater or Riff Tracks one time. To be honest, that's actually one of the better movies they've ever riffed because they have riffed some pretty good movies.
Yeah.
You know, that's a Revenge of the Creature is a pretty good sequel.
Okay.
I mean, it's not bad. Some people like it more, but not me. But it's pretty good. But you know,
yeah,
I mean, they were making jokes about it,
of course,
as they do, and they were funny, but it's a pretty good movie. So as far as monsters go, what for you, the Universal ones, what was probably your favorite so far?
So far, I really liked. We didn't see Wolfman, right?
We did see the Wolfman.
We did. How long ago was that?
We watched it. Remember when we had the TV that you had to tap it to make the picture come back on?
Oh my gosh!
And you had to put something under it,
Mm.
or the picture would go out. So we took it upstairs with the DVD player. This took like an hour to set up. It was like 100 degrees. We had the air conditioning on.
Yeah,
and we watched the Wolfman upstairs.
Okay, so some of them I definitely think I could benefit from a rewatch, like Wolfman being one of them. Then, but I remember I really liked Frankenstein and Creature of the Black Lagoon.
You did like Creature from Black Lagoon, yeah. That's when Mom came home. She was like, "Oh, what's this, Godzilla?" It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, of course.
No, Godzilla's a little taller.
Mm-hmm. Dracula was good too. Yeah,
Dracula. Now, and then we watched because we have a pretty darn good Spanish speaker here as well.
Spanish version, yeah.
I got this because it has the Spanish version, even though I already had Dracula, the Legacy Collection.
Yeah, that version was good too. Yeah.
So hypothetically, just hypothetically for now, how hard would it be for you to do like a review in Spanish of Spanish Dracula?
Well, that requires 2 things. It requires good Spanish, and it also requires me to like be able to say like details of the movie in Spanish. So right now I'd say like pretty not possible, but we'll see. We'll see.
You'd have to do a little work.
Yeah.
Put a little work into
maybe
it.
if it's scripted, but maybe if it's scripted.
Yeah, it's actually I think Spanish Dracula is the longest Universal movie.
Really?
For some reason, it's longer than the original Dracula. So, it's not shot for shot, but that was pretty. It's a pretty good movie actually. So, but here's where I was going with all this. You have to admit, the original Mummy with Boris Karloff, it's a little slow. Just like the Dracula movies, they don't change rooms a lot. They can be in the same room for like 25 minutes talking. And back then I used to work at 3:30 in the morning, so we would be watching a movie at 6 p.m, and it was already getting close to my bedtime. So there were times it was tough.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? The antidote for this is the Hammer Dracula. I mean, the Hammer Mummy. Start with the Hammer Mummy. What did you think of that one?
That one was also like a while back. I think that's probably one of the first ones we watched.
Yeah, well, we watched that before. We didn't finish the Universal ones. We put that in there.
Oh, okay.
We put that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Remember that Mummy?
I do, but not that much. I do remember watching it, but
that was the one that came through like the door.
The door.
Yeah.
That's good.
At the ending, somebody really gets it good. I remember you looked at me like, "What?" You didn't know it was going to be that violent, but it's there's a bone crunching sound at the end to that one. So we watched Mummy. Do you remember what other Hammer films we watched?
Hammer specifically?
Yeah. So this would be like in color.
Oh, in color?
With usually Hammer throws in a couple beautiful babes. They've got Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing. One of both, right? Oftentimes. So we watched the Mummy, and then we watched the Dracula. We did watch Dracula.
We did watch Dracula.
Yeah. Okay. Remember the ending was much different.
Yeah.
It's just pretty violent ending comparatively to the original one. Good ending. They changed it up, changed the story up. So naturally, and I haven't actually seen this in a while, and I have some of the other films in the series. And I got this the other day. I'm editing a video with this right now. Curse of Frankenstein, the first in the series for Hammer. So this is when I told you about where they had to change the appearance of Frankenstein's monster. They didn't have the rights to make it look like the Universal one.
It's fun.
So each movie has a different monster, and then follows the Doctor. So played by Peter Cushing. So definitely a good one. So we'll for Hammer, we're gonna definitely get this one. Nanette loves. Oh, Nanette doesn't understand Spanish. Okay. the remake Wolfman, I mean, it's pretty fun for what it is, but going into it and that what it's it's going to be CGI effects and it's not going to be like the original one. They had some nice touches, even when the opening, it was almost like a black and white with a moon. They kind of paid some homage to the original one. And then that loves Hammer movies. Yeah. I mean, most people in the community do love Hammer movies. They're just fun. So we can definitely do that one. And then, if you're ever interested in any more Hammer films, you can let me know. Yeah. But so that takes care of those kind of classic monsters.
Been working on them for a while.
Yeah, working on them for a while. We definitely the last one really on the list was the Hammer Frankenstein. Frankenstein. They did make a werewolf one, just a single one, so it's not a series. Much different from the Universal one. They actually had a set in Spain they were going to use for a different film, and that film got canceled, but they had this set. And these Hammer films, they have these castle sets and everything. They're pretty. They might not look like much today, but they were pretty expensive back then. So they were like, well, we have to use the set. So they went through with their werewolf movie. So it's pretty good if you want to check that out. Okay, so let's move on from those monsters to a little something a little something I picked up. I've shown this before. My last surviving VHS tape that survived the purge of VHS tapes that I wish I didn't do. Still in the plastic. My Star Trek II Wrath of Khan VHS tape. So I went ahead and I found some of the movies, the original movies. Movies with the original cast and the Next Generation cast at the Dollar Tree. But not this one. So this is Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Blu-ray. Now we have watched, one or two episodes of the original?
We've watched, I believe, only one.
I think we watched one. City
I remember
on the Edge.
which one. It was
City,
really good.
Yeah, it was really good. It's the one I told you won the award for sci-fi. The best sci-fi film of that year. The one with Joan Collins.
Yeah, that's the one you showed me. It was really
time
good.
Travel. Yep. We'll mention Joan Collins in a minute again. Yeah, I agree in that. As long as the story's good, and a lot of it was good. And you did have some pretty good fights and things with the werewolf. I will say that. And good cast. Anthony Hopkins and Hugo Weaving as the police inspector was very good. So we can definitely now. This is the second one, Star Trek II. The first one was called Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Came out after Star Wars, and it's known for being like pretty much like an episode, a long episode that you went to the movie theater to see.
Yeah,
with obviously some more cinematic shots. Very long film. It doesn't really have an antagonist, not a human one anyway. So then they went back to the original series. They said, are there any villains from the original series we could use? And there's an episode with Khan, and I can't remember the name of it. I don't think that's I forget what the episode is called. But it's a really good, it's one of the better episodes. And of course, this is 1982. So is it 1982? I believe 80. Yeah, I think in 1982. Pretty good year for horror and sci-fi. So Ricardo Montalban was still alive and well. Later on, he would be in like those Spy Kids movies. Amanda, your brother and sister and I saw the third one in the theater. I had no idea what was going on, but he was in those. He was on a show called Fantasy Island, and a lot of people didn't know that he was in the original episode with Khan, so they were surprised that he was the villain in Star Trek II. So they got a proper villain, and it's a really good movie. So I think it might be kind of cool to check out the episode and then the movie.
Yeah.
And maybe even some other people have said, oh, yeah, I need to see that. So maybe we can incorporate some other people. And then let's see. All right. Now, let's talk about one of your favorites. One of Harry's favorites. Harry's a big anime
Absolutely, yeah.
fan. We did an anime stream a while ago. over a year ago now with Knight was on it. On the on the Let's Chop It Up channel. He's not really active on YouTube at the moment. Hi, Katie. That's Katie popping the popcorn.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be on with her tonight. So and Harry did most of the talking. He was, and
there's a lot of like more like modern anime series there that I'm familiar with. I think Dad here is more familiar with more sci-fi kind of anime from a little bit,
from way back. So obviously,
way back,
I've been making him watch some of the classics.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the anime club in high school, so he's been to conventions. And are you going to a convention this
Going
summer?
to convention, in LA Anime Expo, which I think is like probably the biggest anime convention in America.
LA Anime Expo. So you're going to LA?
Yeah.
Awesome. And who are you going?
Going with my brother. Yeah.
You're going with your brother, I'm drinking out of his graduation.
It does say his name.
Hey, Waffles, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the air is good where you are, Waffles. It seems like it's cleared up pretty well here. Waffles
by now, hopefully.
Waffles is in central Jersey.
Yeah.
So I think I can't put off cutting the grass any longer. I don't think I can't use that as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we went back. He got into anime. Oh, you're gonna be at Monster Mania in New Jersey in August. All right, I'm thinking about it, but my last day work is in September, so I might wait till the spring for Monster Mania and for other conventions, but I'll get into that on the channel later. So naturally, with Harry, I said, well, what about some of the classic animes like Kira and Ghost in the Shell were the two big ones, and he hadn't seen them, so we've watched both of those. I don't have Ghost in the Shell here with me. We watched Akira first.
Yeah.
I did a whole live stream with Lady Shasha on her channel, on the What Did I Just Watch channel. We had a whole panel. We were talking about Akira.
Yeah.
And then I've also picked up a few things here and there, like this bento box. And I think we said that this Memories looked pretty good. Is that the one you had heard of?
So, I mean, on here, are these... There's only like a few
there's really
series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Astro Boy is on here, and that's like...
It's old school.
Classic. I haven't seen it, but... and then Memories, I believe... Let's see, do I recognize anything? I don't think...
There's like two anime on there.
Yeah. I don't know if I recognize Memories from anything, but it sounds pretty good.
I think Alucard told me it was pretty good, so we might check that out. Maybe we'll throw it on, check it out. Now, before he got into high school, before he got into anime, my kids would constantly hear me watching Cowboy Bebop.
You still listen to the music?
I still listen to the music.
The soundtrack.
We still have the soundtrack.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, I got him the first Cowboy Bebop CD as a Father's Day gift before.
good Father's Day gift. It's amazing. It's a whole CD worth of music. It doesn't even have.
The soundtrack is huge. That's only like 1 out of 3 CDs.
You would need like 3 CDs.
Yeah, for only a 20 episode anime series it's a lot.
Well, when each episode has its original theme music.
Yeah.
And so eventually he got into it. He started to hear about it. He knew I already watched it, so he watched it all. And then we went to see it in the movie. See the movie in the movie theater. It came back as a special engagement. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
so good. So good.
Yeah, even the little interview in the front with the voice actors.
Yeah,
iconic voice actors.
The dub and the sub for this one definitely have both. Pretty renowned, which is pretty rare, I would say, for anime nowadays, especially. But anime dubs, I don't think are like they're not bad now. A lot of them get like pretty decent dubs, but in terms of like a dub being renowned on the same level of the sub, it's very rare. It is for Cowboy Bebop. So
no, it's good. Yeah, those great voice actors. But like after watching like Akira, I would not want to go back and watch it dubbed. It would throw me off. I would just not be able to do it. And Nanette likes a lot of older anime. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a few shows from like before 2000s, I guess. Okay. Not as much. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop, of course, is probably my favorite anime that's like, I guess, like old school.
Yeah.
It's so good. I could use a rewatch of it right now too, honestly, because there's a lot. There's a lot of like detail and theming within it.
Mhm.
Even upon like a first watch, you're not going to catch like all of it. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, a really rewatchable series, which is good.
Oh, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely rewatchable.
Yeah.
You got just a great story arc.
Mhm.
Uh,
Really good.
some episodes that could be kind of standalone.
I think a lot of it is standalone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
but with
I
like
mean,
an overarching plot.
Yeah. There's very few episodes you will watch and you would be confused.
Yeah.
But some really don't touch on
Story.
the story
Yeah.
arc
Mhm.
itself. With Spike and everything that
Mhm.
much. They're just events, and of course, they even have that one song.
Which one?
Oh, they even have one heavy metal song in the soundtrack, so that's a
Oh.
bonus. I can't remember the titles with the space trucker lady.
Oh, that episode? Yeah, okay.
But it sounds. I thought it was They sound like Queensryche. The group is called Live in Babylon, I think, but something like that. Great song, great soundtrack, great series. Yep. Oh, Katie and Annette, love it. Yeah. Great. And this is, I think I might have seen this at Target for a decent price, so couldn't help it. I just snagged it. But the originals, Akira, Ghost in the Shell. What are your thoughts? Just briefly.
Akira.
Yeah.
Akira was good. The animation for Akira, I think, is the thing that stands out the most to me. It's extremely fluid. I don't know if it was still like, I think that has to be like from an era where it's still like hand drawn. And now they use just like computers a lot for animation. And I don't think that's inherently a bad thing because I still think anime pump out series with amazing animation. But like hypothetically, it's a lot easier to take shortcuts if you do it with like computer based animation and stuff like that. So, but being hand drawn is really impressive. You can see like the detail and the feel of it. It's very fluid. I can only imagine how long it must have taken to animate.
Yeah.
So yeah, incredible in that aspect. I think the story was pretty good. Although I will say, I think I've heard a lot about Akira like beforehand, and I think the story might be a little like rushed in some areas coming towards the ending. I know the manga actually goes on for, I believe it's about like 3 volumes. I don't think it actually fully adapted the manga, so I think the ending might be like either rushed or like a little bit anime original.
Yeah.
And it was good. The story is good. There's like very clear themes there between like the main 2 characters. But at the same time, I think it was a little rushed. The thing that stood out to me the most was the animation, which looked incredibly fluid. It's still really good and holds up very well in that aspect. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. And Ghost in the Shell is pretty good. I remember when we watched it, I was like going back did we watch it over winter break, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was going back the next day, so we had to watch it pretty late.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit more tired than I should have been
when
we watched it, because there's a lot that's like a very like philosophical show, which is good. I like anime that make me think. But yeah, there is a lot of theming and story. It's just very, I don't think it's as action heavy as I expected it would be. Like the opening sequence, I remember it did like showcase a good amount of it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. But then yeah, I think the reason why Ghost in the Shell, because all of these series still stand out very much so in like today's day and age. Everyone still knows Akira, Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Like if you're an anime fan, you know of them, and people who aren't like huge anime fans probably have still even heard of them, which is pretty incredible. So I think they all have pretty different strengths in like why they stand out. I think for Ghost in the Shell, it's definitely because it's just like a very like profound kind of story and something that you definitely don't see too much in anime, at least not laid out in the way that it was in that movie. So I think it's very impressive.
Yeah. I definitely need to rewatch it already because that was
I know.
Well, that was
that too. Yeah,
that was the first time I had seen it in years, and to be honest, I thought since it was a shorter, it would go zip by, but it felt longer or as long as Akira.
Yeah, because it's just so much to like.
There's a lot, and there's some techno babble in there. They kind of go off these.
There's definitely
they definitely go on these tangents, and it was definitely good. I remember really liking the second one, and then I know there's a series, so it's something we can get into. It's the Standalone Complex.
I've heard of it. Yes.
And I've sampled soundtracks from all this stuff before. Somebody made a video years ago. It got taken down, I guess, because they used too much footage of the second movie, and they took scenes from the movie, and towards the end it goes nuts. There's like they're like raiding this plant with where they're making these like cyborgs and stuff, and there's lots of gunfire, and they timed the drum beats to the gunfire in the anime. I mean, editing genius, whoever it was.
Yeah.
I used to watch that all the time, but so it got taken down.
Oh.
But, I think the second one is well regarded, so we might want to check that out eventually.
Yeah.
And then maybe the series, and kind of go from there. What's up, Eric? How's it going? We've already touched on some of the things we talked about the other night, the Wolfman and everything. Which is funny coincidence. But then the other thing we were talking about was Knight asked us which franchise just hasn't lived up to its potential or is weak or something like that. And I said the Dark Universe, which is, they tried to reboot the Universal movies, and they've had they tried to start it with the Mummy, and it just didn't take off. They just didn't do it. And like, why? There's so many good elements to I mean, somebody with a vision and of like a whole arc needs to sit down and plan it out. And I don't feel that they did that. But anyway, Eric just finished Renfield. It was a lot of fun. That's cool. You know about that?
Yeah.
Seen the trailer?
Yeah, like the one that just came out.
Yeah. So I didn't. Yeah, it looks like comedy elements.
Comedy elements,
yeah. Renfield, being from Dracula. Duh. But both versions have iconic Renfields.
Yeah,
the Spanish one, the guy is really good. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I was skeptical when I heard Nicolas Cage was Dracula, but the trailer looked great.
Yeah, it looked pretty funny.
Yeah. And Annette likes Dark City and Bleach.
Do you recognize Bleach?
Oh, Bleach.
I hope you do.
Yeah,
because that's one of Nelson's favorites.
Oh yeah, that was my other son's one of his favorites.
Yeah, I watched it too. It's good. I wish there wasn't so much filler, but filler. Yeah. So someone who didn't watch it weekly, he forced me to binge it. I could skip most of the filler. It was really good, the main storyline, and it's still going on, which is crazy. It's like a very long break. There wasn't even confirmation if it was going to come back, and it did come back. It's coming out right now, and I think the new season has been really good. I actually think the new season definitely has like the best animation the series has ever had before. And it's good. It looks like they're really taking their time with it, so it's really good. The next arc, I think, starts back up in July.
Okay.
I'm actually really excited. Yeah, it's like probably the most excited I've ever been for Bleach as a series.
Okay.
Although I've never heard of Dark City before.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's has anything to do. There's a movie called Dark City years ago. I don't know if it's related to that or not. But, yeah, I've heard he was good. Eric Cage is Dracula. I heard he was good. Okay, so we have maybe some anime to check out eventually. Oh no. Okay. But let's get into some more of the classics. You've ever heard of this?
The movie? No.
Yeah. Never heard of it?
No.
Rear Window? Okay. I did watch this with Sis.
Oh.
The whole 99% of the movie takes place in one room.
Oh.
But it's a Hitchcock movie. It's one of the most. I mean, we've seen the birds. We saw some of the birds at Grandpa's, right?
I think you guys were Matt was definitely like making fun of it.
Yeah, the birds has some scenes that are a little dated, but Hitchcock is like the master of suspense. I've got a 20 movie collection box set of Hitchcock coming from eBay. Like when it said Hitchcock 20, I was like, what does that mean? What is it? Is it a documentary? Because of the price. It was like the price of one movie. And I was like, what is this? A documentary or something? And then I was like, wait, what? This is 20 movies? So yeah, I had to get it. So I got that coming. So I want to watch some Alfred Hitchcock. We can watch some Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah. But mostly I got this from Jimmy Stewart because I also went to college in Western Pennsylvania. I went to Indiana University in Pennsylvania. Don't get it confused, but it's also out there, and that's the birthplace of Jimmy Stewart. So when I was in college, they had a big Jimmy Stewart statue in front of the bank on Main Street. Now apparently they have a Jimmy Stewart museum. So I would like to combine a trip back to my alma mater one of these days, and I mean how. It's not going to be like the art museum in Philadelphia. It's not, I'm pretty sure you can do the whole thing in an hour. I don't really know, but we're gonna go check out that eventually. Probably not in August when you go back because I'm still working. But after September, I'm done work, so we'll plan a special trip. In the meantime, we'll watch Rear Window. We can actually watch this with Mom.
Really?
Yeah, I think
think so?
Yeah, there's nothing in there that she's not going to get. I mean, it's good. Great Jimmy Stewart movie. Maybe we could try a couple other Jimmy Stewart films. There's some. Well, Jimmy Stewart. We'll think of something. But just so you have a sense of who he is before we go to the museum. So we definitely got to get that one in. And then, as far as classics go, got to throw in a few of the classics. Let's start with okay. Actually, let's start with years ago. Fridays is a short day for me. Okay, I get home later on the rest of the week. Fridays I'm done at like 1:30 or so. So years ago, when he was still in high school, I come home on a Friday and I decided to be the best dad ever. He's there chilling out on Friday. I said, guess what? We're going to see Kong Skull Island at the movies.
Oh, we did see it.
Why not, right? And we don't get to go to the movies that often together. So, fun time in the theater. And then we've watched, what have we watched, Tara?
Both of these, right?
Well, this is the first one.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we in the theater, we watched Godzilla King of the Monsters and Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah. Right? But you never actually saw
Godzilla.
The 2014 Godzilla. Okay? We saw King of the Monsters and Kong Skull Island in the theater. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I think he has, Nanette. Hold on a second, though. Because I train of thought. It's a good question, Nanette. That's the Hitchcock movie to watch for sure. I'm thinking this summer, original Godzilla from 54. I think it was 54. Mm-hmm. Okay, from the 50s, the original one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And this one.
I've seen the original Kong before.
You seen the original Kong?
Yeah, for film class.
Oh, no! It's funny. I just got Son of Kong. And we have a internet friend, Interweb Kaiju. He reviews. He's an expert on Godzilla, all kaiju movies. He's done Kong and Son. He's just recently reviewed Son of Kong and then just Kong. Mm-hmm. But the original Godzilla, Gojira, they took Gojira and they added in an actor named Raymond Burr, who, by the way, is in Rear Window, as an American reporter, covering it all to make it more relatable to American audiences. So that's probably the version we'll watch. It's the one I grew up with. But so we'll do that. We'll do those, try to get in those two Godzilla movies. And then Nanette wants to know, have you ever seen Psycho?
Don't think so, no.
Okay, see, I thought we were down at the river once. There was like a rainy day when it was on. I don't know. People were kind of walking in and out of the room. But yeah, Psycho's one to watch as far as a classic movie. Mm-hmm. And as far as films, if you're into film, you're gonna study Psycho at all. Eventually, I mean, you're just gonna have to. I think there's a documentary called, I don't know, it's called like 7245, which is the number of shots and cuts in this famous shower scene. Oh. So it breaks the whole scene down and how important the movie is to in film history. So you're going to come across Psycho if you're studying film. So that's for sure. And then as far as, let's see, I've been trying to introduce him to some iconic action stars. And we've seen a few Clint Eastwood films.
Yes, quite a few.
Right?
Yeah.
A few comedies. Some of them have been comedies, right?
Yeah.
We watched... Okay. So we watched Good and the Bad and the Ugly.
Yeah.
So we're definitely got to check out for a few dollars more. I told him there's the first one. Fistful of Dollars is pretty good, but the ultimate trilogy, if you're going to call them a trilogy, would also include be the other two films, and this one, Once Upon a Time in the West, with Charles Bronson. Do you know who Charles Bronson is?
No.
Okay. Charles Bronson right there. Okay, remember we started to watch The Magnificent Seven, the original?
We started.
We started to. When Harry's niece was about to be born, we were at another house, just waiting. Everybody was pacing around the house, right? This was during COVID, so no one could be there. So we were just waiting for. Oh, they were coming home.
Yeah,
they were coming home, and we didn't know when they were coming home. So I was like, Harry. Everyone was pacing around. I was like, we just got to sit down and do something. We started to watch The Magnificent Seven, but they came home 3 quarters.
We didn't finish
it. We never finished it.
But
But Charles Bronson was one of the guys.
Okay,
and we'll get to one of the other guys in a moment. We're in Moorestown, Waffles. I spend a lot of time in Philly because it's across the river, and that's where my daughter lives and my grandkids are. So this is just a classic spaghetti western from Sergio Leone. Just phenomenal. And if you want to study film, you gotta, he's a guy to watch. He's a guy to study. Now, because Yul Brynner was in The Magnificent Seven, he was later cast in. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, this was obviously made into a series recently, but this is the original Westworld. This would be fun to watch. Okay, this is from Michael Crichton, guy that wrote Jurassic Park. Glow in the dark slipcover from Walmart, but obviously he plays a cyborg cowboy, and he's crazy looking eyes. I mean, this is a fun one.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy that. So we'll definitely see if we can check that out. Now, have you heard of this?
Nope.
You gotta get acquainted with some of these. This is a Sam Peckinpah movie, The Wild Bunch. Extremely violent Western from '68, I believe. It was a little bit shocking at the time, but just a great film. Just the shots that he composes are just phenomenal shots. Action scenes. The end of this is iconic. Just goes on and on. Very bloody. And I've seen most of his films when I was doing my whole study directors thing, but not his last film. And one of my friends on YouTube, Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM, I think he said this is his favorite movie or one of them. So I got this, and I haven't watched it. So this is going to be something I need to wake up and watch when I can concentrate on it. The Osterman Weekend, which also has Rutger Hauer in it. So I'm definitely going to be watching that. But yeah, Sam Peckinpah. You're going to be studying Sam Peckinpah eventually. Now, as far as other action stars, have you heard of this guy?
I think so.
Did you ever watch? I know I watched it with your brother and sister. Did you watch The Great Escape?
No.
Oh, you've never, okay. Yeah, he's in this. Oh, wait a minute, Steve McQueen. He was in Magnificent Seven too.
Of course.
He was the guy riding shotgun. He was the guy riding shotgun. Yeah. Yeah, him and Yul Brynner actually were not getting along during that making that movie because they were trying to one-up each other. But yeah, very few of the actors in that had really crested and become big time in Magnificent Seven, and which is why it's one of the reasons it's so significant. Obviously, many of them did. Anyway, this is sort of his classic action movie, Bullet. Okay, known for. Oh, wait a minute. I've got all the die cast that goes with Bullet. This is the taxi, so this isn't the most exciting part of it. Robert Duvall played the taxi driver, by the way. Fun fact. But I actually got 2 of these, but one by mistake. But I've got the other 2 cars involved in the chase. Famous chase scene, absolutely famous chase scene. Okay, directed by Peter Yates. So that might be a possibility. And then as far as action movies. We've got about 10 more minutes here, guys, just so you guys know. I got this a while ago. This could be, again, something we can watch with mom just for fun. Fist of the White Lotus. It's not one of the most famous classic kung fu movies. I don't know if this is Shaw Brothers or not. Oh, it's a remake or sequel of Executioners from Shaolin. They always got one of these white-haired old masters, right? Yep. But this has Gordon Liu. Okay. And Lo Lei. Lo Lei was the first big action star, martial arts star, even before Bruce Lee in China. But So we might check that out for fun. And then we got, you know who this is?
Based on face, no.
The mustache. That's Burt Reynolds.
Mm.
Passed away a couple years ago. Action star, a lot of comedy work, classic, fun movie. Smokey and the Bandit. This is the 7-movie collection. I had no idea there were 7 movies. Burt Reynolds is only in the first 2, quite obviously. Now I got Smokey and the Bandit 2 at Dollar Tree. I was very happy to find that, and I got some of the die cast that goes with this too. Classic Firebird in this, right? Just a fun movie, comedy, like a chase movie. So we could check that out. Kind of analogous to Every Which Way You Can. Anyway,
yeah.
In terms of the tone.
In terms of tone, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun. Probably like a better movie than either one of those movies. Because both of those movies had some goofy parts, but
goofy.
We did enjoy.
I did enjoy it.
There's some good parts in both of them. Good fights, good parts. Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. We watched both of those. And then this is one I think your brother would really like. Have you heard of this?
No.
The Warriors. We might have to check this out. Walter Hill movie. He was on a tear back then as far as writing and directing movies in the 70s. Basically a gang movie. They also used the device of there's somebody on the radio sort of narrating the whole action. It's been done since then, but it's done very well in that movie. It's just a fun movie. Steve McQueen was on Wanted Dead or Alive TV show. I remember when that Rutger Hauer movie came out. They tried to make it so he was like a distant relative of Steve McQueen, which was kind of funny. And then as far as now we watched Duel together, right?
Oh, we did watch Duel, yes.
Yeah, Steve, which again, if you're studying film, that's Steven Spielberg's
big,
first movie,
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe second one. But and he had directed some Night Gallery episodes. I think we only watched the one episode of Night Gallery, right?
Oh yeah, we did watch one. Yeah.
The one with the worm.
Mm.
Guess what?
Oh,
the one with the one called Caterpillar, but it's Caterpillar seems like cute and cuddly. It's not a caterpillar. I mean, that's what they call it. But guess which movie borrows a scene from that?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people talk about the Wrath of Khan worm, not knowing that there was an episode of Night Gallery. Yeah, Nanette. I mean, 7. I knew there was a third one with Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed is country singer. He was in the first 2. So the third one is just Jerry Reed. But then there's Bandit. Bandit Goes Country. Bandit, Bandit, Bandit. Bandit, Beauty and the Bandit, and Bandit, Silver Angel. I mean, I don't know if these were made for TV movies at the end. All directed by Hal Needham. Okay, not part 3. Anyway, the last 4 are directed by Hal Needham, Brian Bloom, Brian Krause. So I guess they get 2 other guys, Brian Bloom and Brian Krause, to be in them. And I don't know if who the antagonist is, because the original one had Jackie Gleason. He's famous. He was in a show called The Honeymooner. Famous actor, and he was a comedy legend, pretty much. Good actor. Anyway, we saw Duel. Classic made-for-TV movie. Tons of suspense. You know, they couldn't show a lot. They couldn't have a lot of violence on TV back then. So some really well-written made-for-TV movies. And on my channel, I actually tell a story about when I saw this movie. When I was a kid, I went on a trip to the Poconos. It was like a resort kind of a place, and they had an activity night. They had like an activity room, so they had a movie night. So we all came in there, a lot of kids. We sat on the floor, and they had like a projector and a screen. They pulled it down, and we watched this movie. It scared the crap out of me. So don't be afraid of the dark. You might have to watch this. I mean, it is very quaint in terms of effects and everything, but it's still effective. It's still effective. Guillermo del Toro remade it, and it's just the remake just doesn't work. It just didn't work for me. But this is a classic, so maybe we can watch this as far as our made-for-TV movie suggestion. And I think we pretty much covered it. So yeah, so that's I'll be on just remember everybody, I will be on Katie's channel tonight, popping the popcorn at 8 for her creators corner. So she's just going to be interviewing me about movies and things, and we'll just go where the conversation takes us. And Harry we'll try to get you back on a couple more times.
Should give me an anime slot for
yeah.
an hour. I would.
yeah, definitely. Well, we're gonna have to get a live report from the convention.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to get a report from the convention.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to get like a little wrap up video when you come back. And he's going with my other son, and then we have Father's Day coming up, so I want to try to incorporate the girls and Nelson. Maybe we'll get Nelson to break down his favorite episodes or rank the segments of Creepshow.
Okay. Oh, that you watched them.
Yeah. We went to the theater to see Creepshow. Actually, speaking of anthologies, I wanted to mention this. For my upcoming plans. Blah. So my older son and I saw Creepshow and Christine in the theater back in January. A lot of you know that, and we had a great time. But maybe I'll do a Father's Day Zoom call with him. We'll talk about that, and then with Amanda and Allison, I'm going to try to set something up where we talk about movies or something, movie memories, But and then another idea, just so you guys know, something I'm working on. I've been rewatching a lot of the Amicus anthologies. Amicus was a similar studio to Hammer. A lot of horror movies, and we did start watching. Once again, we were at the river. We were getting ready to leave. So I said, we were just kind of pacing around. So I said, let's start watching this, Tales from the Crypt. So we watched the first one with Joan Collins, the one with the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Right? Mommy, Santa Claus is here. Okay.
Yeah.
So we did watch that one. Yeah. So that a lot of, and a lot of the Peter Cushing was in a lot of these too. So there's several Amicus films. This one has 2, Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror. So I've watched The House of Drip Blood and one of the other ones. So I've been taking notes, guys. So eventually I'll do a live stream where I sort of go over each segment and then like kind of rank each segment. And then at the end, pick out my favorite movie and my favorite segment, which is the fun thing. Even in, not every segment is gold. Most of them are pretty good, but some of them are quite iconic, of course. And then, even talk about the overall feel of the film, the wraparound, the device they use to tie everything together is a lot of times fun. Obviously, in the Crypt, Tales from the Crypt, they have a crypt keeper, which is kind of cool. Anyway, so that's about it, guys. All right, Nanette. Nanette says it was nice to meet you.
Thank you. It was nice
to
be on stream.
We'll be back eventually.
Might be the first time on stream on your channel, actually.
Yeah, on my channel. On my channel, we made a video last August before you were going back, and the idea was we were gonna make a video over winter break. It just didn't happen. But we'll be back, and then long term, like I said, you got your convention. Eventually, we'll go to that. We'll hit the Jimmy Stewart Museum, maybe even hit the mall in Monroeville, which is near Pittsburgh. You've heard of Monroeville, being out there. Where they filmed Dawn of the Dead, the original. Now, we did see Night of the Living Dead. That was another one of the classic horror movies that I had him watch. We watched that a couple years ago for Halloween. So the sequel, Dawn of the Dead, takes place in a mall, filmed in that mall. So it's very much a Pennsylvania trilogy, or the first 2 are. And so they have some displays and things in the mall. I think, I'll confirm that, but just something for us to do,
Yeah.
So eventually we'll do some stuff like that, and we'll have Harry come back, obviously. All right, guys. I will I'll be on Katie's channel tonight at 8:00, popping the popcorn, and I'll talk to everybody then. All righty. Take it easy.